And what a beautiful theater. I was just thinking I'd love to come here and sing sometime. Do a show. Be great.
Let me bring out that better-looking, smarter, other statewide elected official to have a really important conversation with you. One of my favorite people in this state, as a matter of fact. Please welcome to the stage now, State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Chris Reykdal.
Okay, Chris. How about a nice hand for Hick? Good to see you. Are we going to sit over here? Okay, I believe we're going to chat for a while.
You pick the seat, I pick the questions. You got it right there.
Okay, I'll sit right here then. Okay, ooh, this is a nice chair. Local furniture?
Finest Washington chairs.
How do you like my flowers? Ain't they beautiful?
They're beautiful.
They really
like
are.
You, Dolly Parton.
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen,
well,
Dolly Parton.
Well, that's nice. Boy, I swear, this is a great crowd. I had a chance to meet a lot of you out there taking pictures, but I'm sure I didn't meet everybody. Look at this nice place. All right, well, anyway, I'm a talker, so what do you want to know?
I promise you that in this fireside chat, if we could have put 7.5 million Washingtonians in this room, 7.5 million people would have come to see you. I guarantee you that.
Well, that's sweet. How many does this hold? I'm curious. How many does this hold? Do you know?
How many what?
How many people does this building hold?
There's a few thousand.
2,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seriously thinking this would be a beautiful place to do a show. Do you do many concerts here?
I think a Dolly Parton concert in the next year or two would be incredible. I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah.
We may do that sometime, but this is actually is a beautiful place. Do you have many concerts here?
There's some
musical concerts. Yeah.
A little theater here.
I bet you do a lot of theater.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
I got a question for you, Dolly Parton.
Okay, well, then ask it.
And we got questions. We got questions. We need answers. I will say, as I came in here, I heard a fun fact, and I want to confirm it. On this day, when you were 13 years old, the first day you performed on the Grand Ole Opry. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I know. That was one of the most exciting times of my whole life. I was scared to death, and Johnny Cash had introduced me. And I thought that was just, I knew that everybody was listening to me back home on the radio. Me and my Uncle Bill used to travel back and forth trying to get me on the Opry. But that was a real special time, singing at the Ryman Auditorium where all those great people had been on that stage. So that kind of started my career. I started when I was 10 singing on local radio and television. But that was a biggie to get to sing on the Grand Ole Opry.
And here we are now, an unbelievably iconic career. Your heart and passion is in something so big, so I would just say iconically American, and that is a love for reading. Tell us about the Imagination Library. You came all the way to the state of Washington. What does this mean to you?
Well, I came all the way here because I'm very, very proud, as you said, of the Imagination Library. I'm sure you know, it's where we give books to children from the time they're born. They get a book in the mail once a month with their little name on it. And you remember yourself getting mail, first time you ever got a piece of mail with your name on it. It was special, right? So I wanted the kids to feel like that this was just for them. And so when they get old enough to wait for that in the mailbox, they're going to get that book and they're going to make somebody sit down with them and read it. They are. And so I think it really instills a love for reading and the love for books. I wrote a little song for the Imagination Library. It says something about books, books. I love books, the way they feel and smell and look. From my first look, I was hooked on books, books, books. And I was. And I want all kids to kind of feel like that when they get their little books. So anyway, it's been a long time. It's been almost 30 years, I guess, now that I started the program.
Well, your inspiration is unbelievable. I will tell you, you have made my career come full circle just with your inspiration. This young lady, who is quite frankly the new mother of this entire program in the state of Washington, Brooke Fisher-Clark, is a former student of mine.
Oh, good deal.
And she came to us and she said, I'm doing this really cool thing in Southwest Washington. What would it look like if we got this thing a little bit bigger? And we've got Congressman Derek Kilmer and his beautiful family here. We've got other folks. From congressional dollars, aid dollars, to a decision in my office, to incredible legislators who spoke today, to so many people, we have made this baby go statewide as fast as any state possible. You have a personal story, though, about literacy that just moves you. Tell us about that.
Well, actually, the way that I started it, a lot of you may or may not know the story, but my people were very poor people, rural people. We grew up way back in the mountains of East Tennessee, up in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park area. And my dad was from a big family. There's 12 of us kids. There's 6 boys and 6 girls in my own family, mama's and daddy's kids. And, of course, that's a lot of mouths to feed. But my dad had grown up even harder than we did. And he was from a large family, too. I think there's 13 or 14 of those kids. And back in the mountains like that, a lot of people didn't get a chance to go to school. And they had to stay home and work the fields and do what it took to kind of keep the rest of the family eating. And the schools were like one-room schools way off. So my dad couldn't read and write. And that troubled him, and he was embarrassed by that. But Daddy was so smart. I've often thought, now, I wonder what all Daddy could have been had he been able to read and write with that great intelligence that he had. So I knew Daddy was troubled by that, and he felt like that he couldn't learn to read and write after he was grown. It was just one of those things. So one day I got the idea. I thought, I am going to start a program, and I'm going to make my daddy help me with it. So I came up with the idea to start a program where we did give books to children in their young years when they're most impressionable, where they can learn to read and write. So I got my daddy all involved in that, and he took such pride in it because he really was a help to me, because Daddy was really smart, and he would have great ideas, when I'd talk to him about it. So anyway, my daddy got to live long enough to, to see it, come to be really a lot of what it was. But when I started it, I was thinking, well, if it'll be good here in our little county of Sevier County. And I thought if we were lucky, maybe it'd go a couple of counties over. But the next thing you know, Governor Phil Bredesen, who was the governor of Tennessee at that time, well, he loved the program, so he took it statewide. And, of course, that was the beginning of it. And my daddy, he was so happy about that. And he got a bigger kick out of people calling me the book lady than he did about Dolly Parton, the star. It was like, but he got to live long enough to see it doing well. And now we've, like they talked on the stage a minute ago, now we're all over the world, different places. And we've given over 200 million books since we started it. I know my daddy's always looking down saying, we did it. So anyway, it's very personal to me. And I think when you do take on a charity to support, it really needs to be something that's personal to you, that's you're passionate about. And of course, I do other things, but I don't think I'll ever do anything more important or more personal to me than this, because the kids are our future, as they say.
Inspiring.
It's true.
You have been recently awarded by the Bezos Courage and Civility Award, with that award, a $100 million philanthropic gift for you to do whatever you want to do to create more incredible miracles in this country. Tell us about that gift and what's planned.
Well, first of all, that was a big surprise. I remember I was in L.A. I was doing some business, and I have a little apartment out there, and I got this call. Somebody said, Jeff Bezos is trying to get in touch with you. And I said, oh, yeah, right. I did. I said, no, they said, seriously? I said, well, what for? I thought, well, maybe he was wanting me to do some commercial for Amazon or something. And so I said, well, I guess I have to call him because it is Jeff Bezos. And so I called him, and he said, well, I would like to give you, the award this year of $100 million. And, of course, I about fell out of my chair. I said, is this a joke, and is this really Jeff Bezos? And he said, no, I'm serious. I've seen a lot of the work that you do and a lot of the good things you try to do for people. And so I think you'd be somebody that would spend it wisely. So I said, well, I can't thank you enough. I certainly will do that. And, of course, they publicized that. And then, I got every call from everybody in the world wanting me to give that money. I guess they thought that I had it in my ruler pocket, in my or in my bib pocket or in my pocketbook. I don't know. And so I had to kind of let that die down because I'm the kind of person that I just don't go out spending money unless I think about it. And all my charity work, I always try to let my heart lead me on that, and it usually does. I'm always drawn to certain things that I do. But I did tell him right away, I said, well, I guarantee you that one of the big things I'm going to donate to is the Imagination Library, where we can go worldwide to get more books in the hands of more children. And he said he understood that. So I will be doing a lot of that. But I like doing things for children. I have other children's programs that I'm involved with. And, of course, I like working with seniors. I like doing a lot of that as well. So charity begins at home, so I'm doing a lot of good things in East Tennessee and in around Nashville. And a big part of it is still working with children. But that money's going to go good. I have 10 years to spend that money, by the way. He said the only strings attached that it has to go to charity. I said, well, did you think I was going to go buy a car or something with it? But seriously, I do have 10 years, and there will be many things that will come up that I'll feel passionate about. So just trust me, I will spend it wisely, and I will let my heart lead me as I do on everything else. But thanks to him, awesome. I did see where Bezos had donated $100 million to Maui and the fires they had there. So that was nice of him. He's got a lot of money, and that's a good way to spend it, to helping people.
Fantastic. Let's transition to one of the most iconic careers in the history of the United States of America. Yours. You've got a new album coming out.
I do.
It's called Rockstar. You collaborate with more than 40 artists. You're going to know these songs. You're going to transform music once again. These folks have been making music for more than 8 decades. You've pulled them all together because they'd do anything for Dolly Parton. What inspired a rock album, and when do we get to stream this baby?
Well, this don't have a whole lot to do with the Imagination Library. But,
that's right.
But it does have a little bit to do with Washington. I worked with Brandy Carlisle on it. She's from Washington. I also worked with Ann Wilson, who's also from Washington. I did Magic Man with Ann, and I did Can't Get No Satisfaction with Brandy and Pink, who I loved. But I actually...
Me too.
I know, don't everybody. But actually, I had often thought that I might in my career to leave, for my legacy, as they say, a rock album, because my husband loves rock and roll and always has. He's cracked my eardrums for years, having his, the car radio or the truck radio or the house turned up full blast. The louder the better, and the more acid rock the better. But anyway, I knew all these, and I loved them, and I had done a few covers of some rock songs through the years. And I thought, well, maybe do it. But then the years got to going by, and I thought, I'm going to be too old to do that. Then they up and put me in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I thought, remember I didn't mean to start any kind of controversy over it. I just didn't think I deserved it. So I said I didn't want it because I thought that I was taking away votes from people in the rock business that had spent their life in that, like I had spent my life in country music. Now, I'll take anything they'll give me in country because I feel like I've earned it as much as anybody else. That's how I spend my life. So that wouldn't have been, anything. It would have been a compliment. But when they said, they wanted to put me in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I thought, and then they talked me into it, and I did accept it gracefully, and then I'm that much like my daddy. If somebody's going to give me something, I'm going to earn it. I don't want nobody giving me nothing, so I thought, well, timing is perfect. So if I'm going to ever do one, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to earn my place in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I did a rock album, and we have a lot of great people like Paul McCartney and Ringo on the same record. And of course, as you mentioned those, we got Steven Tyler, we got Stevie Nicks, we got, Lord, I don't even know who all, Elton John. We got so many great people on it. So I hope you'll enjoy it. My country fans always like to see me doing different things because, I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to try to do as much as I can. Well, I mean, sooner or later. But anyhow, I do hope you enjoy the album. And I'm sure I'll be donating some of that money to the Imagination Library as well.
Going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
And it comes out in November.
So, I have to ask you this last question, Dolly. This is personal. I am in the business of education. So are you. So is everybody in this room. It's bipartisan. It's every state. It's every American. We love our children. We are starving for the civility and the grace to treat each other with respect and dignity. It feels at times. You have been absolutely emblematic in leading this powerful career. You've inspired us. You do it with such grace and kindness. What advice do you have for educators here, future students, these young readers that we're getting books into the hands of? Tell us about what grace means and respect and what you would have them think about as they live their lives.
Well, to me, I think one of the things that we've lost in this world today is respect for one another. It just kills me to see that even no matter whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, we're still human beings. We don't have to be so mean to each other. I think common decency and kindness, we're not all supposed to be alike. Remember what they say about variety being the spice of life? But that doesn't mean we can't be good neighbors. We can't be good people. So I would think that everybody should just treat other people the way that they want to be treated, or the way that you would want your family to be treated, your children or your mom or your dad. So to me, I think it's just about respect and listening and being compassionate, because people all over the world are exactly alike. Everybody has their families, they have their problems. Everybody has the same heartaches. Everybody cries. Everybody laughs. Everybody bleeds. Everybody, is the same in that way. So to me, I just think you should listen more, care more. And our slogan at the Imagination Library is do more, care more, be more, and do more. So if we would all do that, I think it would be a lot better. But I really think we just need to have a little more kindness and just think a little harder instead of just seeing what all we can do to each other. Let's see what we can do for each other.
Right on.
Yeah.